Welcome to another inspiring episode of the Elite Expert Insider Podcast. Hosts Melanie Johnson and Jenn Foster are the owners of Elite Online Publishing. They're both Wall Street Journal, USA Today best-selling authors. We're really glad you're here because this podcast was designed for you. Meet industry experts that share their secrets and strategies. Get successful results for your business in money, relationships, health, and your life. Each episode is going to inspire you to take action towards reaching your greatness.
Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. We are here with another podcast. We have some special information today that we're going to share with you that Jenn and I learned. Hey Jenn, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a great day.
So we just got off the eWomen's Network conference, and we had the honor and pleasure to listen to Stedman Graham, Oprah's guy, as he would say, speak to us. And it was about creating your identity, but creating momentum. One of the things that stuck with me was he was saying, who you are, right, is the most important thing, identifying who you are. And he was saying he's had to fight all the time that people are saying, well, I'm Oprah's man, I'm Oprah's boyfriend. So, but he says, my identity is so much more than that's not who I identify myself with. Other people might identify myself as that, but that's not who I think I am. So this is kind of about that, getting your identity, getting momentum, how to get awesome, amazing results in your life and to propel you forward on really a rocket ship. So we're going to go over what we learned from his speech. We talked for like over an hour, and Jenn and I each got his book, and we thought it was pretty amazing. What did you think, Jenn?
Yeah, I thought it was really good, and I was excited to get the book because we did know that, the talk was based on the first chapter or one of the chapters in the book. And so I was really excited to hear him, and it was really refreshing to hear him. He's up there in age, and he's done a lot in his life and he has a lot of wisdom. So it was really good to listen to him and to hear his thoughts and to have his spin on things. And a lot of the stuff he's talking about, I've been hearing over and over again, like it resonated with me. Like, I need to hear this again, right? You know how you hear things.
And, I want to comment that you said about his age. So even though he's up there in age, he made it sound like you're not done till you're done, till you take your last breath. So keep having that vision for your life, keep deciding what your goals are, keep learning. And one of the words that he used over and over again was empowering. Empower yourself. Keep educating yourself, keep doing self-education and self-improvement to empower yourself to be the best person that you can be. So one of the things he had this 9-step program or 9 steps that he talked about. And it wasn't until we got the book that I realized that it was just one chapter of his book. Yeah. So we knew he was going to speak from his book, which is called The Identity Leadership. And Jenn and I always say, since we're publishers, that your book is your speech is your book. And I love that he took just one chapter and expounded on it and gave stories within it for his speech. So if you are a speaker and you're thinking about creating a book, remember that your speech becomes your book and vice versa. So that was really cool. So let's dive into these 9 steps. The first one that he talked about, which I brushed upon briefly, was check your identity. He says, before deciding what you do in life, you must first understand who you are. What influences your life? And why do you think and act the way you do? And that can be a really deep question. And I hate to revert to Oprah, but Oprah says this too. Ask that question, who am I? Who really am I? What actions am I taking and who is the person I'm creating? Because every time you make a decision, whether it's big or small, you're creating that person. So if you don't have a vision of who that person is, you're just going in a direction that you have no control over. I mean, I'll use food, for example, because that's such an easy example to say. So, if you're deciding to have donuts for breakfast every morning, you're creating the person, and have dessert every night. You're creating a person's health that is eventually going to gain 10, 15 pounds a year. if you're choosing not to maybe exercise and eating donuts and having dessert every day, the compound effect is eventually you're creating a person that's overweight. Well, is that the vision that you want for yourself? Or if you want a vision of someone who's healthy, fit, full of energy, then those little choices that you're making every day tend to be different. So decide who you are. What does your health look like? What does your spirituality look like? What does your financial situation look like? What do your relationships look like? And make decisions based on that. But you have to decide who that person is and what that looks like.
I thought it was interesting too, because when you ask that question, your first go-to is when you say, who am I? You're like, well, I'm the daughter of this person, or I'm the son of this person, or, I'm the mom of this person. You know what I'm saying? Like you identify with the other people around you, but you have to stop thinking of it that way and actually say, who am I? Not bringing in other people around you, but by saying, who am I exactly? Right.
And you know what,
really looking deep into yourself, right?
Yes.
You're not just on the surface, but who are you spiritually? Who are you inside? Who are you in your mind?
And you may say, well, I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, but then he talked about the macro and the micro. Well, who are you as a mom? What does that look like to you? How do you want to show up every day as a mom? What is your vision to be the best mom ever? What does that look like versus just, I'm the mom. I get my kids up in the morning. I get them breakfast. I get them off to school. I make sure they have dinner at night. I buy their clothes. I take them to their activities. And he talked about that, right? The fixed routine. Like every day, I'm doing the same thing every day. Get my kids off to school, feed them breakfast, make sure they get their homework done, get them to their activities, make sure they're clothed, make sure they're fed. Then the next day I wake up again and I do the same thing again. I wake up my kids, make sure they get off to school. So that's the mom title, but really, who is the mom that you want to be? What is the vision of what you're pouring into your kids? And it goes the same with your job, showing up at your job every day. What are you really doing and pouring into? So I love what you said. It's not just those titles, it's that deep dive into those titles. We get so caught up into our everyday routine of doing the same thing over and over, getting the house clean, getting the stuff done, running the errands. But then if you just compound that over and over again and don't really have a vision to add other things into your life that are enriching you so you can enrich other people, I think is really, really important.
Well, that's what I really liked, how he talked about the differences between like the fixed mindset and the extraordinary, going outside your comfort zone or going outside of your routine. Because it's true, like he kind of made a joke and he was like, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you make your bed, you get the kids to school, you go to work, you come home, you make dinner, you watch a movie and go to bed and do it all over again, right? Like,
right. That was the fixed, right?
Mundane, mundane fixed mindset where you just over the same thing over and over again, which majority of the people do because they just have the same job every day. But he was trying to get you to think differently and think, of course, you're going to do the routine that you have to do each day, but what else are you going to do? Are you going to read in the morning? Are you going to meditate? Are you going to exercise? Are you going to do something else that day or plan to do something on the day that you're not working that lifts you up and lifts other people up and does something that's outside that comfort zone or that doing something more extraordinary?
Right. And then once you come up with that plan, like you talked about, that's the fixed plan repeating, then there's the average, you're doing a little bit more. And I think that, what was the third word? I don't know if it was extraordinary.
Advanced. So they have the fail system is the one where you do routine over and over and over again.
Right.
And then the average system and then the advanced system.
So the advanced system is you're deciding who you are and you're setting goals, but then you're taking an action plan. He called it a travel plan of solid action based on your identity. So you're making these little choices every day to read something that's going to take you there, like educating yourself something, doing actions, certain things that's in your routine that you're shifting it to get you to where you want to be that aligns with your identity. And what happens when you start to do this, you're now taking power over your life. Before, your life is running you, and now you start to run your life. because you know where you're going and your decisions are all based on your vision of where you want to go, which I think is just a huge, huge thing.
The other thing I really liked when he said that we all are even because we all have the same 24 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all on an even playing field. It's what we do with those 24 hours.
Absolutely. And then he's talking about master the rules of the road, guidelines on your tracks to engage pursuit of a better life, which sounds like a lot of stuff. But what he's really trying to say is, what are your values?
Mm-hmm.
So the things that you're doing, so you set the goals for yourself, and then they have to align with the values. So many times people don't set their values, and then you ask it's so much easier to make a choice if something comes your way and you're like, I don't know if I should do this or that. I don't know if I should date this guy or not. I don't know if I should take this job or not. I don't know if I should let my kids do X, Y, or Z. Then if you revert back to what are my values, does it align with my values, and does it take me towards the vision of my life? It's a whole lot easier to answer the question or decide, should you do this or not? That's really a great thing.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. He had like steps in the book where you can actually list them out, and he was asking you to like list out your talents, your skills, your values,
Mm-hmm.
and so that they all align, so that when you do set your goals, that they all are aligned. So I did really like that.
And I like too that a lot of us know this, but we don't think about it, is if you're in a rut, well, if you keep doing the same thing you've been doing, then you're going to keep getting the same results. It's, what is it? That definition of an idiot. If you want to do
insanity, I think insanity.
Yeah, insanity. Is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yeah.
So I think that is so key. I look at myself, I look at my kids, and it's like, well, if you are not feeling good about a situation, then why you keep doing the same thing? You're going to get the same result over, like in business, if you're making those same sales calls, if you're making X amount of sales calls a day, then you're going to get the same conversion rate all the time or around there. But if you change that, then it's going to be different. If you do your homework, then you're going to get a grade on it. You're not going to fail your class if you study for a test. If you're a mom, if you spend that time, start spending quality time with your kids, then you're going to pour into them. Just remember though, I think one of the biggest things was, if you're not empowered, then you can't empower anybody else. Mm-hmm. It's that oxygen on your face first. So if you want your kids to be better, then you have to be better. Yeah. If you want your business to be better, then you have to be better. Mm-hmm. If you want your relationships to be better, then you have to be better. Yeah. So that means you have to become a relationship expert. You have to be, if you want your kids to be more confident, then you have to be more confident. So these are the things, so many times we're trying to project for other people to be better. They should just do this. They should just do that. But what about you? Are you doing those things? Yeah. Are you taking an active, progressive measure to do that? I told my son the other day, he's on a journey, and I said, I'm going to take this journey with you. You're trying to improve in a category. I'm going to improve in the same categories. I feel like if you're going to do it, I need to walk the journey with you and exercise my muscles as well, because otherwise you're doing it alone. And if he's getting better and I get better as well, then we're better together, and the whole system rises up to be stronger.
Yeah. I really liked how he said, I think he said it, Stedman said it over and over again, which was, your business is only as good as you are. Meaning right. You got to work on yourself first, and then, and look inside yourself and figure out your identity and your goals and your values and all that. And then your business reflects that.
Right. Like if you feel like you're drowning personally, then your business is going to be drowning with you.
Right.
So you've got to be in a good emotional state, a good physical state, bring the energy on, be in a good spiritual state, pay attention to your relationships. And, when you work on relationships too, whether it's at home with your personal relationships, as you learn to be stronger in that, you're gaining that with your business relationships and your employees or your coworkers as well. It all ties in together. You think it's the separate little cog over here, but it's not. It all ties in together to work together as a unit. And when you increase one thing, you raise it all up. I don't know if he touched on this, but I think he did. It's really about checking in on a regular basis. So if you don't do the metrics, you're like, okay, I think I'm good. I've worked on this, I've worked on that. And now, I don't know, 3 weeks have gone by, but you haven't asked yourself, well, how am I doing emotionally? How am I doing with my relationships? How am I doing with my physical body? Am I paying attention to it? Have how am I rating myself on that? So it's checking in on a regular basis. It's not a one-time thing and you check the box and move on. You've got to always check in and do the metrics on it.
Yeah. When you were talking earlier about empowerment and what is empowerment and empowering yourself. And one thing that Stedman said, which I really loved, is he said that empowerment is spelled Love.
Right.
So
to love yourself.
Love yourself, empower yourself, learn, educate, and focus on yourself and figure out what your identity is, and it will reflect on your whole life.
And then if you think you're alone while you're doing this, he really stressed of building your dream team. So you don't have to do it alone. You're not supposed to do it alone. You're supposed to have a team. We learned from another mentor, creating your board of directors. Who's on your board of directors? I tell my one son who's starting a business at a young age, okay, who's your board of directors? He's like, Mom, I don't know what to do about this. Well, you need to go to your board. Well, who's on my board? I'm like, well, I'm on your board. Your uncle's on your board. You have two other business people that are on your board. I never thought of it that way. Right. You run it at the flagpole with your board of directors, but then you also have on your dream team the access to the globe. Now you can access any mentor through YouTube, through PDFs. You can search anything that you're having issues with and search out people. So you don't necessarily have to have them right in person and be able to have that phone call. You can go to YouTube and listen to things all the time. I listen to Jim Rohn, I listen to Les Brown, I listen to Tony Robbins, I listen to Joyce Meyer, I listen to Joel Osteen. All of them are on my dream team to give me and feed my mind and my soul, to keep me in the right mindset and to learn what I need to learn. So keep that in mind. You're never doing it alone. Don't try and do it alone. Create your dream team and your board of directors to fulfill your vision and get you through those rough times. My one son was saying, life is hard. Life can be really hard. It throws you curveballs, and it can. So it's all about getting up from those curveballs. You're going to have failure, but you're never a failure unless you just lay down and let life run over you. You just have to keep getting back up and doing it again.
Yeah. And that's what Stedman finished his talk with. And I've heard that poem before. It's called The Race. But he did it in his own tone and his own voice. And I really liked how he pretty much read the poem. And then at the end, he kind of did his own, like said it on from memory. And I really liked how he finished that poem about the race and to get up and try again, get up and try again. Because success really is about all the failures. It's not only about success. It's how many times you failed and got back up is success. Failing forward, right?
Failing forward. That's right. And then, and part of that is the commitment. The last thing he talked about before the poem was commit to your vision. So you can say you have a vision and you have that, but you have to be committed. And the commitment is renewed every day. You have to because there's days you just don't feel like it. You don't feel like going to the gym. You don't feel like going to work. You don't feel like taking the extra effort. And it's not so much how you feel. It's about the commitment and dedicating yourself to it. You can't go by just the feelings, because a lot of times we don't feel like doing the stuff we're supposed to do, but you just have to renew and make that commitment to yourself. And when you make the commitment to yourself, you're making it to so many other people as well that benefit from your empowerment. You just never know whose life you're going to change because you empowered yourself.
I love that. I'm really looking forward to reading Stedman's book. I'm sure you can get it anywhere books are sold, and it's called Identity by Stedman Graham.
Yep. And this was the 9-step story is the chapter on that. And so we had a great time at eWomen, eWomen's network. And it was a pleasure to listen to Stedman Graham and to meet him in person afterwards. So we hope you got a lot out of this. We hope you're empowered to find out who you are, create the vision for your life, get your dream team, and commit to it every day. So have a great day, and we'll see you next time, or you'll hear us next time here on our podcast, Elite Expert Insider.
See you next time.
Hey, are you looking to increase your revenue, build credibility, and elevate your brand? This podcast is brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, an innovative publishing and full spectrum marketing company. They will publish and market your book to make it a #1 bestseller. Becoming an author is the best way to market your business. So contact them at eliteonlinepublishing.com today. All of their authors become #1 bestsellers.